Ever thought you'd like to draw realistic clouds but didn't know how to get started? Then this video is for you. In this video, I explain how to draw realistic clouds, including the technical tricks, and also tell you what mistakes not to make. Then let's get started. When I started thinking about the topic for this video, I thought about what are some of the mistakes beginners can make when they start drawing clouds. So I thought I would illustrate not only how to do it, but also how not to do it. What you see is the first version, which I drew wrong on purpose. Let's look at possible mistakes. First, let's start with the background, which would normally be a blue sky, but is now black and white. For this part, it would be important to have a nice transition from top to bottom to give a sense of the atmospheric effect. So the sky shouldn't be filled in to show what tool you've used if you want to make a realistic drawing. The second possible mistake is the outlines. I have noticed that, whatever the drawing, beginners tend to draw strong outlines where they don't really need to. To make the cloud realistic, you need to avoid strong outlines. The third possible mistake is the shape of the clouds. If this is not correct, the cloud will not be realistic. Let me show you what I mean. The fourth possible mistake is incorrect shading of clouds. You shouldn't shade them heavily with big movements, but it's also not good to not shade them at all. Another possible mistake is to use too big eraser, which I can't use to correct fine details. The last possible mistake I can think of is to draw the clouds at the wrong size while they are moving away in space, so the spatial effect will not be correct. In this drawing I drew smaller and smaller clouds, so the spatial effect is fine here, but I thought I'd mention this because it's also important to be able to draw realistic sky and clouds. Now let's see how to draw the sky and clouds realistically. The first important piece of advice is that clouds should be drawn only faintly, because the graphite of the sky that will later be on paper will give the real outlines. These can then be shaped with an eraser to get the true shape of the clouds. Now we look at the sky. To get a sense of the atmospheric effect, we need to apply the graphite to the paper more and more faintly, from the top down of course. I usually do this by applying graphite to the paper with a tissue or paper towel and then pressing it on depending on how dark I want the shade to be in the area. I leave out the clouds of course. Then the clouds can come again. I use my eraser pencil as a white pencil and create the final shape of the clouds. If you are interested in the full video, join me on Patreon. You can find the link and the list of the tools I use in the video description. Another condition for realistic clouds is night shading. I did this with an ear cleaner, paper, pencil and pencil using small fine strokes. It is much easier to draw a cloud if you understand the light-shadow effect of clouds. They usually have completely white parts in sunny weather and different shades of gray in shaded areas. If you understand the light-shadow effect, it will then be much easier to draw lifelike clouds. This may seem like a lot of information at once, but if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. As you can see, the clouds get smaller from the top down, creating a spatial effect. Now let me summarize the most important things to know about realistic cloud drawing. First, we need to draw the clouds in a faint outline, paying attention to the shape and size of the clouds. Then the sky, using graphite powder and paper towels for a nice finish. Of course, you have to leave out the clouds. Once that's done, we can start working on the details of the clouds one by one. Always work out the shape of the cloud first. This is very easy with an eraser pencil. Once this is done, the next step is shading. You can also use paper pencil, ear cleaner, pencil and graphite powder for shading. Pencil should be handled with care and pencil lines should be smudged with an ear cleaner or paper pencil. For highlights, use a precision eraser because it removes the graphite from the paper a little better than an eraser pencil. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe for similar content. Thank you for watching.